Hi everyone, Thrifty Mommy here. I have a video about an idea I wanted to do about some of the unseen issues of having kids with special needs that some of you probably would expect and maybe some you wouldn't expect. But anyway, I'm just going to put them out there because actually I've been kind of frustrated with some of these things lately. They've either been irritating me or bothering me, and I figured I cannot be the only one with special needs kids who feels the same way. So I'm actually at Trevor's therapy appointment right now, so it takes an hour, so I'm sitting out in the car so I can get a video done in the meantime. So this is kind of perfect timing, really. But I want to preface this by saying I am very grateful for my kids, no matter what. They are who they are, and I wouldn't change them. I don't want to sound ungrateful or like I'm complaining. It's just strictly a video topic idea that I was thinking about, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do that because I'm sure there's other moms out there who may be feeling the same way that I do, thinking, ugh, am I the only one who feels like this? And I'm here to tell you, no, you're not. I'm sure it's completely normal. So first off, I think one issue that most people would realize is financial. It's a big financial strain on families who have kids with anybody with special needs, any kind of health problems or anything like that. It's a financial strain, you know, with doctor's appointments that aren't just regular pediatrician appointments, but like you have specialists, like we've gone to neurologists, speech pathologists, developmentalists, therapists, you name it, we've gone to it, gastroenterologists, you know, on down the line. And that in itself is really expensive. And then, like, I'm just sitting here at Trevor's appointment. We go once a week for an hour, and that costs money every single week. And then we do have insurance, so that helps out a lot. But when you add everything all together, it's expensive. It's really expensive. And we're about to take Jackson to another appointment in September. So it's just, you know, it adds up really quickly. So that's one aspect of one of our challenges that us as parents have to deal with. And then just the time, you know, to go to all these appointments and to go to all the therapies. And then it's even outside of that, like in your own home or in your daily life, you spend a lot of time working with your kids. And I know every parent does work with their kids no matter what, even if they don't have a form of special needs or health problems or anything. But I think a lot of us who do have kids with special needs tend to put in extra work and effort on our own time to try to give them the best that we can and provide for them the best that we can. And then that leads me to another struggle that I find personally is balancing it all out. I strive to be very balanced, but it's really hard to do so. I find myself having to give a lot of attention to Jackson. He needs a lot of attention. He's constantly getting into things that he shouldn't and hurting himself or hurting others and things like that due to his sensory issues. And I find it hard to try to balance my attention between my three kids. Trevor has high-functioning autism, and the way he is, he's really calm and laid back, and I'm just being totally honest here. I don't really want to get judged or get talked bad about for saying this, but he's very calm and laid back and just real chill. And you know, it's easy if I don't watch it, it's easy for me to push him to the side to focus on the other kids. And then Parker has ADHD, so he's constantly, you know, in your face with something. So that's one thing I strive to always do better at, is to spread my mommy self evenly between the kids, and that's really, really tricky. Now, another thing that I wanted to touch on is other family members, friends, strangers, things like that. One of the challenges I find is advice. A lot of times I get like really good advice from some of you guys on, I don't even know what my hair is doing, some of you guys on my Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, things like that. But that's usually kind of when I'm coming and asking for it or saying I don't know what to do, you know, things like that. But sometimes when I feel like when I'm talking to my family or friends and I just want to vent, you know, if I've had a really stressful day with the kids, I don't want to take it out on the kids. So my first thought is to call someone so I can kind of vent to them and just get it off my chest, you know, like, oh, today was crazy. And like today, for example, Jackson put his, if you look on my Instagram, there's a big hole in the side of his dresser. It was sometime in the middle of the night. I heard a big thud and he had banged his head so hard that he put a hole in his dresser. And it's just been crazy today. He's been really off the wall, just bonkers today. And I just wanted to vent. I didn't necessarily want advice from family members or anything. I just wanted to kind of just get it off my chest. And it's not their fault. They have all the best of intentions. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what they do or anything. But the advice that I sometimes get when I'm not asking for it is kind of frustrating. I just want to be able to talk to someone without them trying to fix my kid, if that makes any sense. And then strangers, most of the time, are pretty cool. They don't really say anything. We do get stares sometimes when we're out in public. If they're doing something like Trevor has these, I don't know what you would call it. I think most of you would look at it and maybe think it was like ticks or something, or I don't know, but it's his way of stimming with hand flapping. And then Parker just can't sit still, and then you got Jackson banging his head, and people just stare. And I have gotten comments at the gas station or at the grocery store before. Jackson was full on meltdown in the middle of the grocery store. It was total sensory overload for him. And this guy came and, or no, it was a woman came and said something along the lines of, you need to learn how to handle your children or something like that. And that is totally just pisses me off. Unwanted parenting advice, if you can even call it that. Or I had one older gentleman come up and tell me, you know, they make duct tape. You could probably use that. And things like that, where it's just like, are you kidding me? Do people really say, like, obviously they do. I've had it happen more than once, but it's just, it's very frustrating. And I try to keep my cool, but the last thing a parent with a child who's having complete total meltdown in the middle of the aisle, I'm already hot and sweaty. The last thing I need is a stranger, a complete stranger, coming up and judging me and saying really hurtful things towards me or my children. It's not right, and I hope none of you guys do it. I don't think you do, because if you did, that wouldn't be good, but I don't think any of you guys do. You guys seem very supportive and everything, but you know, it's just lately I've been feeling overwhelmed with everything going on, financial, emotionally, physically, just everything. I just feel very overwhelmed with it all, and that can easily happen, and I have to try to rein that in, because if I just let that go, I will spiral out and just like, I can't tolerate it, you know, I just need a break, I just can't handle it. But I need to kind of rein that in and think, okay, I can do this, and then just take one day at a time, and that helps. I have found myself, again, I'm trying to be just completely open and honest like I usually am on my channel, but I have found myself here recently having a hard time. I have to constantly remind myself, Jackson cannot help this. It is a neurological disorder. There is nothing he can do to, it's not him doing this on purpose. And I have to keep telling myself that, because it is difficult when something happens. For instance, the hole in the dresser, the hole in the wall, the toothpaste all over, things like that. It's just, I get very frustrated, and my first reaction is to get upset with him, and I have to realize that it's not necessarily anything that he can have control over, and he probably feels very frustrated as well. So now when I talk about certain things he does or whatever, the other thing is I get a lot of comments saying, oh, that's just a phase. My kids used to do that too. Don't worry about it. It's totally normal. It's just a phase. It's just a phase. It's just a phase. If I have to hear it's just a phase one more time, I'm going to scream. Because honestly, it's not just a phase. And sure, if it was just one thing at a time, like if he just did this or he was just doing that, like he's been on this thing where, you know, he likes to flush things down the potty. Yeah, a lot of 3-year-olds do that. But when you add up everything all together throughout my day, it's not just a phase and it's not just normal. I don't even like to use the word normal because really what is normal? But so this is me just being open and honest and talking to you guys about some of my frustrations, challenges, whatever have you. But, you know, it's kind of just real life, you know? That's just how it is. And I think a lot of people have these kind of thoughts, emotions, and things, and a lot of people don't speak them because they don't want to be judged. And I'm kind of past that because if you're going to judge me, you're going to judge me, but this is who I am. And I do have frustrations with the kids, and I think everybody at some point does have frustrations with their children, no matter what. But yeah, I've been finding it challenging lately, and Jackson's getting older, so it's getting a little bit more difficult sometimes as he gets older in some aspects, and some aspects it's getting a lot better. And then you just have these perfect days once in a while, and I am so grateful for those, like where everything just lines up. All 3 kids are like in great moods, and we just have a really, really good day. There's no major issues, nothing gets broken in the house. It's just, I really treasure those days, and I think I'm more thankful for those kind of days than I ever thought I used to be when I had just Trevor and Parker. So anyway, guys, that's kind of my rambly update. I'm gonna have to probably watch it back because I don't even know if I was making any sense in this. But yeah, just sharing some of my thoughts and feelings with you guys of having special needs kids. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say is on those really good days, that's when I start to second guess myself. And I've heard that now because I've openly talked with other parents while I'm sitting in therapy who have kids with the same issues that my kids have. And specifically I'm talking about sensory processing disorder, because you can have really good days or sometimes even a couple days in a row, which is super awesome. But it's in those really good days that I start second guessing myself and thinking, okay, maybe it is something to do with how I'm parenting. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there is nothing going on with him. Maybe he doesn't even have sensory processing disorder because he's being so awesome. And then you wake up the next morning and you go, yeah, no, that was a dumb idea. It's nothing I'm doing wrong. But I also want to let you know that that's totally normal too, because like I said, I would talk to some of these parents here and they feel the same way, where they start second guessing themselves. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you later. If you have any questions pertaining to the subject, I'd be more than happy to answer them. You can leave them down below. And just so I don't feel bad, because like I said, I got toothpaste all over my carpet, I have a hole in my dresser, and a plastic hamburger bun got flushed down my toilet. So let me know if you have toddlers, because I know toddlers do some crazy things. What is one crazy thing that your toddler or your child has done this week? Put it in the comments to make me feel better. Alright guys, till next time, we'll see you later.